Boy interrupts judge to address rumors about mom. The boy decided to speak up as the judge was about to give her verdict. The entire room went silent when the boy stood up and said, "Excuse me, Your Honor, if I may, I have something to say." Every single person in the room started to tense up. The boy was filled with emotion as he continued, "I have to tell you the truth about my mom. Since she was young, Sarah Cause had dreamed of someday being a foster mom and adopting lots and lots of children. On her first date with Stuart Shank, she made it very clear that this was something that was very important to her. Little did she know back then that he would be the love of her life. Stuart loved the idea, and when they got married, they worked hard to fulfill her lifelong dream. They were a young couple and decided it was best to foster babies and toddlers. They would usually stay with them for a few days. Sarah liked it this way. She didn't feel like she was experienced and skilled enough to look after the older children. She never could have guessed that her next fostering experience would turn her entire world upside down. They were comfortable enough when they were assigned to take care of a 3-year-old boy for one weekend. His name was Michael and he was the sweetest boy. That one weekend turned into a week, then months and then years. In that time, he stole Sarah and Stuart's hearts. But the perfect situation would soon take a troubling turn when they heard a knock on their front door. Michael wasn't an only child, he had a 10-year-old brother named Deshaun. When Michael and Deshaun saw each other, they were both filled with emotions as they embraced one another for several minutes. When Sarah saw this exchange, she knew that she had to do something about it. But whatever she was planning on doing was going to interrupt her plans. Sarah was 23 years old, only 10 years older than Deshaun. She never thought about fostering an older child because she felt that she'd do a bad job, but she couldn't let the two of them grow up separately. She thought about it a lot before deciding that she would take Deshaun in too. She wanted to care for him and his younger brother. But things were about to get worse. Sarah was lucky enough to have supportive friends and family, they never questioned anything she did. But when she took Deshaun in, they all started to feel uneasy about the situation. Sarah and Deshaun were becoming close. Everyone was wondering if Deshaun had developed romantic feelings towards her. Deshaun struggled without a loving family for years, so when he was finally offered a family, he felt that he needed to take the opportunity with open arms. He did everything in his power to show Sarah and Stuart how much he appreciated them. That was what confused everyone. But the possibility of being broken up was lurking in the shadows. Sarah and Stuart wanted to avoid this threat, so they decided to start the adoption process. It took long, it felt like it had taken them years, but now, they were finally about to hear the judge's final verdict. But before she could give her verdict, Deshaun got up from his seat and spoke in a shaky voice, "Excuse me, Your Honor, if I may, I have something to say." Deshaun was 13 years old, and Sarah's family and friends were concerned that he was in the middle of puberty. His behavior was unpredictable. This was a concern for everyone involved. But what he said showed everyone that they had nothing to be concerned about. And the room went silent. Sarah and Stuart tensed up. "Your Honor, I have a confession to make," Deshaun continued. "My mom Sarah and I have a strong bond. She and Dad love Michael and me so much. And we are proud to be their sons," said Deshaun with teary eyes. The judge moved by the love displayed in front of her. She felt it would be appropriate to grant the adoption request. There was an emotional uproar after hearing the judgment. Everyone in the courtroom was moved by what had happened. As they walked out of the courtroom, a luxury limousine was waiting to take the brothers home. They were officially Sarah and Stuart's sons and had to be welcomed home in style. Deshaun couldn't be thankful enough. He gave another monologue in the car as they rode around the city about how happy and grateful he was. Sarah, Stuart, and their 2 sons were ecstatic about finally being a family. But Sarah was not done. She continued fostering more children that needed a loving family to care for them. Over time, Sarah and her husband realized fostering teenagers is a little more rewarding as they can talk through traumas with the teens. Sarah discovered fostering teens is not as dangerous as people make it out to be. Most teens aren't dangerous or trouble, claims Sarah. And Sarah has set out to bring awareness to this with her blog. And she has begun putting together material to help simplify adoption processes in all states.